So today I'm going to be doing the book Courtship Tag. I was not tagged for this, but I've seen this around and I really wanted to do it, so I thought, why not? And yes. So number one is a book that you bought because of the cover, and I thought I'd use a different book this time because this is a common question in tags, and I always feel like I'm holding up the same like 3 or 4 books, and so I'm choosing a different one, and I haven't actually read this yet, and it is called Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alir Sands? I don't know, but this cover is just really, really interesting. I really like it. The typography is like gorgeous. It's got all this cool stuff, and then I like how it has like a little kind of vintage truck because it's just really cute. And look at all these awards, fancy. So anyways, I really like this cover. I also really like the synopsis too, it just sounds interesting, but mostly like I bought it because the cover is just really unique and cool. Number 2 is first impressions. Pick a book that you got because of the summary, and this is pretty common for me. That's kind of the main reason that I get books, is because I like the summary. But the one that really stood out to me was We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. And I read this last summer and I've talked a lot about it. I love this book. It is amazing. If you haven't read it, you need to. But just everything about the summary is great. Here's just kind of like a snippet I'm gonna read. And it says, "We are the Sinclairs. No one is needy, no one is wrong. We live, at least in the summertime, on a private island off the coast of Massachusetts. Perhaps that is all you need to know, except that some of us are liars." And it's just really intriguing, the whole summary, and then everything you read about like kind of the longer summary is also incredibly intriguing, and it does a great job of pulling you in and making you want to buy and read the book. And so, yeah, We Were Liars. Number 3 is Sweet Talk, a book with good writing, and for this I'm choosing The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. So John Green, as I'm sure most of you will agree with me, is an amazing writer. He just has this great way of pulling you in and making you care about the characters and care about what's going to happen next, and I just think his writing is absolutely amazing. I've read this book and Paper Towns by him, and I love them both. They're both written so well and so beautifully, so definitely John Green as far as like, you know, beautiful writing. Number 4 is First Date, a first book of the series that made you want to read the rest of the series. And okay, so I own all of the books in the series except for the first book, so I'm just gonna be holding up the second book, even though it was the first book, Clockwork Angel, not Clockwork Prince, that got me into this series, and then the City of Bones, what is that, Immortal Instruments? Yeah, I get them confused which series is called what. Anyway, I read Clockwork Angel, I loved it so much. I read all of this series, and then I read the Mortal Instruments, and so definitely that just got me into so many books because, you know, it's a lot of books. It's a lot of books. So yeah, Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Next is Late Night Phone Calls, a book that kept you up all night, and for this I have to choose 172 Hours on the Moon by Johan Harstad. This book is so scary. This is one of the scariest books I've ever read. I don't read a lot of horror, scary stuff, and this isn't like gross, terrifying, but it's so creepy, which is the kind of horror that I really, really like. This was so scary. I could not read this at night. I ended up having to read it in the middle of the day, like outside in the sunshine, for me to get through the rest of this because it was so scary. But I love this book, so please go read it if you like anything even remotely creepy, because it is amazing. It definitely made me lose a lot of sleep though. So yeah. Number 6 is Always on My Mind, a book that you couldn't stop thinking about. And for this, I'm choosing Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell because I really loved this book. I could not stop thinking about it as I was reading it. Like constantly I was thinking, when can I get back to reading more of this book? And I finished it pretty quickly. And after I was done with it, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I had a massive book hangover after reading this. I was like, nothing else is as good as Fangirl, nothing else is living up, and I'm bored with everything. So definitely Fangirl. I just could not stop thinking about Kath and Levi and just their lives, and yeah. Number 7 is Getting Physical, a book that you love the way it feels. And I don't have many books that are like really soft or feel really cool, so the best that I could come up with is The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings. It's got an interesting texture. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain this texture, but it's like raised kind of and like bumpy, which is really interesting. And then the title is Raised, which feels really cool. And I like it when books have titles that are raised. It just feels really nice when you're like reading it and like playing with the cover. So yeah, The Murder Complex feels very nice. 8 is Meeting the Parents, a book you would recommend to family and friends, and for this I'm choosing another Rainbow Rowell book, and that is Attachments. I love Attachments so much. It is adorable. I think anyone would enjoy reading it. It has romance and it's also very kind of geeky because it just kind of takes place in a very geeky kind of setting. It's basically about this guy who falls in love with this girl by reading her emails, like hacking into her email account basically, and reading her emails to her friends. And it's kind of creepy, but it's so funny and it's really cute. And if you've heard anything or have read any of Rainbow Rowell's books, you know that she's an amazing author. So I recommend this to everyone. And I've already had like a lot of people who have read it, like my friends, like my mom read it and stuff, and they really liked it, so yeah. Number 9 is thinking about the future, a book or series that you know you will read again in the future. And for this has to be the Maximum Ride series by James Patterson, and I just am holding up one book right now. I think this cover is awesome, which is why I'm holding it up. But okay, I've talked about the Maximum Ride series before. It is amazing. It is so good. And I started reading it when I was like 12, and I've read it multiple times. Like he just had a book that came out, which I'm reading now. But I've read some of those books like multiple times over and over again. Like I have like 3 favorites that I reread, and I know I'm gonna read them again. I've just been thinking about actually going through and rereading the whole series because it's so good. So definitely Maximum Ride. Yes. Read it if you haven't. And finally, I am going to tag some people because I think there are people who should be doing this tag. First, I'm going to tag Ryan O'Neill. I'm going to tag Elena at Got Books. I'm also going to tag Alexis at Rocket Reads, and I'm going to tag Performing Book Felf. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this tag. If you like this video, please hit subscribe. That would be lovely. You can also find me on Twitter where I tweet about things, all the things. And I also have a blog where I talk about authorly things because I'm an author, so like advice and publishing information and stuff, not just book reviews. So you can find me on there if you would like to. Anyways, thank you for watching and have a lovely day.